Hi! I hope you guys are well, and I'm so sorry again. Gosh, I feel like that's all I ever do is apologize to you guys for my belated getting back to you guys. So I will explain why after saying I was gonna get back into it, I didn't get back into it. So it's kind of a weird little um, I was ill for a little while, and in between with all that, I wasn't in the best mindset, and I'll tell you, I'm not one to like to complain and whine and feel like I'll feel sorry for me kind of thing. I don't like to do that, but things kind of kept cascading, and it's like I like to be like, I like to try and look on the bright side all the time. However, I would be like that, and then another thing would just pile on, and so some of you, I may have mentioned it in a past video, maybe I didn't. I don't have, my heater doesn't work in my house, and it hasn't for about 3 years. But thankfully, again, bright side, I have a wood stove. So it's about $5,000 to get a replacement, and that's what I need, because I did try to call a repairman, and they couldn't repair it. It needs to be replaced, so that's why we haven't fixed it. And my water heater's starting to go, which that absolutely needs to be done, and I was going to do it with my tax returns, but I got sued, right? See here how things just kept piling on. Yeah, I got served with papers. I've never been sued before because I have 3 credit cards I wasn't able to pay. So I'm sorry that this is a ramble, but I'm going to just try and get through it. So the creditors decided that they would just sue me. So I had to deal with that, and in between all this, of course, it's cold out, and I'm freezing to death, and I had to find a way to get wood. So, and I finally did buy, by the way, I'm sitting under it, electric blanket. It's super cozy, although it's not that cold anymore, but I still kind of like it. I've never had one before, and it's A+. Totally tops. So, also, my sink in my kitchen doesn't work. The faucet had blown off ages ago, and I was just using the tube, and I just wound rubber bands around it so it wouldn't go flying everywhere. So, but that's gone. That doesn't work anymore. So I just put a cutting board on top of it, and we used the bathroom sink, and so I just put a tub on top of it. We put all our dirty dishes in there, and once a day I go and undo the dishes. Yeah, okay, so I was kind of in a pretty low, feeling very depressed, but so I just felt like I just wasn't going to be able to talk to you guys. So while I didn't fix all those things, spring is here and I'm feeling a little bit better. I did take all my tax returns and pay that one debt. I still have 2 others, and I'm afraid they might sue me too. God, I hope not, because there's nothing left. But oh well. And I guess they can actually put a lien on your house. So that's where I freaked out. So fingers crossed that I can deal with this. Anyway, on to today's topic. I am feeling strong enough. Let's just dive in. I wanted to talk about freedom of speech, and it's one of those that I have been meaning to talk to you guys a long time. I have my topics here, my talking points that I want to talk to you about. I don't know why that. I hate it when you know how you kind of get like OCD about things, and I have this really cool. Ooh, I love like floral journals and fancy stationery. I like my file folders to be pretty too. I'm very girly. I am. So anyway, and ooh, look, the pages are even pretty, and they're actually pretty thick. Anyway, I just didn't like it. One of the pages got bent, and I'm all bent out of shape about it now. Oh, okay. Here's what I have written down for things I'd like to discuss with you guys in the future. And boy, my lead-in is just going off, so I'll have to whip through my topic, so you guys don't get bored on me. Victimhood culture is one of the topics I really definitely want to talk to you about. Freedom of speech and censorship and deplatforming, that's what we're going to do today. And Second Amendment. So I'm going to go ahead and just dive right in. Sorry. Itch. Hooray for things in bloom. So freedom of speech is actually my most cherished of our rights, because I'm mouthy. And I think it's the exchange of ideas is, it's just super. So I wrote down some talking points, so if you see me looking down, it's because I'm reminding myself of what I wrote, and I'm probably going to go off. I didn't finish it because I'm going to go off anyway. I know how I am. other countries don't have this, and so it's I feel really bad for their citizens when I see how poorly they're treated. Um, so I feel exceedingly lucky that we have it here. However, things aren't. I don't know. Things are definitely. Mm, but I did see today in the news it looked like because of all the shouting. Sorry, I know I'm talking in circles, but what brought me to where I am now is honestly watching videos of what's happening on the college campuses, and where speakers were shouted down by college students, by protesters, which is absolutely criminal in my mind. I don't understand why security wasn't hauling those people out, because there's no reason they shouldn't have been. It There's no right that no one has a right to shout people down. That's not a right. So I'm like, I'm not sure what was happening there. So anyway, it looks like in the news I saw it, and I'm not sure, I didn't verify it, but it looked like that any college that doesn't deal with that is in jeopardy of losing their federal funding, which I'm like so for. I'm like, yes, that's fantastic. So so that made me very, very happy. So I will try and verify that, and I should have before I did this, but I'll try and verify that and maybe talk about it another time. My philosophy on free speech is basically, I may not like what you have to say or agree with you, but I will defend your right to say it. Basically, I think that's any free speech proponent that's the basics. That is, the only caveat is direct threats and child porn, threats to violence, basically. I do not advocate slipping child porn into, or slipping non-child porn into the child porn category in order to prosecute, and I'm looking at you, Australia. So folks that don't know what's happening, that's for another video, but anyway, aside from that, you have a platform, and the offended and outraged bullshit needs to end now, and grow the fuck up is the basics on that. There's a thing called a block button, a back button, and feet, and so all those things. I mean, if you don't like if you're in public and you don't like it, well, turn yourself around and walk away. You can get up from the computer, you can back yourself out of a website, you can block that person, you can do any of those things. So yeah, and I am not in favor of hate speech laws as they are trying to infringe on others' speech. And there is, hate speech doesn't really exist as hate crimes do not really exist either. There's just crimes. And there's just speech. So, yeah, I'm not, yeah, I kind of went into it, I wrote it all down, but I think that's pretty clear. If it's not, comment, and I will go back, maybe I'll just do a video basically on hate speech and hate crimes to explain how they're not a thing. I mean, other people have covered them pretty clearly, so, so I just, well, actually, now I am going to kind of go into it, because I was going to talk about how Count Dankula and his Nazi dog, oh my gosh, this is just, I'm a huge fan of Count Dankula's. I adore him. Actually, I just watched his newest video. If you've not seen the video, I'll link it in the description. Basically, as a joke, he taught his pug to Sieg Heil as a joke, and it was to annoy his girlfriend, right? And it was really funny. It's basically gallows humor, you know. And he was arrested. So I think he's in Scotland. Maybe I'm wrong. Somewhere. And he was tried. It was viewed as a hate crime. Despite context, of course. So context is taken completely out of the equation. It doesn't matter. And he spent, he lost his job. He spent countless basically over a year of his life. He spent all this money. He was found guilty and ordered to pay, I can't remember how much, but he's refusing to pay. And so he may end up going to jail for some amount of time, but he's just waiting to see what they're going to do. Because out of just the principle of the thing, he's not going to pay. And I don't blame him. I truly do not blame him. Elsewhere, too, in the UK, they were arresting people for misgendering people via tweets. And they have a hate crime unit. And I feel terrible for people. This is out. It's out of control. It shouldn't be a thing. And I think in Sweden, if you speak out against the immigration, excuse me, you become a target for legal action. And so people are fearful to do that. So, so to me, freedom of speech is worth fighting for, because we are one of the only places to have it. So let me go ahead and explain. I'm actually going to read what it is, what our amendment says. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So a couple things about that. Peaceably assemble. So that's something to keep in mind. And I was going over this when Antifa was doing all their shenanigans and nothing was being done, because I'm like, the First Amendment makes very clear peaceably assemble. So why are they not coming down like with an iron fist on these guys and stopping them immediately? I mean, they should have been stopped. But they didn't. They didn't stop them. And freedom of the press, I don't know, I always think of CNN. You know, when I think of the press, I think of them looking at the ticker tape to see what's happening, and then they take the story, and then they go and they have to verify their sources and get the information before they put the story out. And if they can't put that story out. Now, they don't do that. They literally look on Twitter or on Facebook and they see a story and they literally just run that without checking anything. I'm thinking of the Covington kids. Because when that story ran, within like 40 minutes, I looked it up and I saw the entire hour video, and I already knew. But they're running it for like, what, 2 days before they even... So I'm like, how is it that the press gets it so bad? Because they're doing it on purpose, it seems. So, but there's a lot of people out there that don't know any better. So they literally think that this is truth. So anyway, so that's, I mean, I'm getting off the beaten path. So let me pull myself back, and I'm gonna just say, after reading that, then there's the not protected. There's just a few key bits that are not protected speech. And it's pretty obvious stuff. So it's like obscenity, fighting words, which is funny to me. Them's fighting words. Defamation, like libel and slander, child porn, perjury, lies, CNN, blackmail, incitement to imminent lawlessness, true threats, solicitation to commit crime. Okay, so really, really basic stuff. So, in keeping with, you know, preserving our ability to have free speech and these platforms, that's going to lead me to basically talking about platforms and deplatforming. And it seems like, and I'm going to really wrap up real quick because I'm already at 14 minutes. It seems like they've given the left a huge leeway to just, with a wide brush, tell people to mob, deplatform, and report, and, you know, just anything that upsets them, they just want to shut down and stifle and quiet. And I just want to see that our freedom of speech laws are upheld and strengthened so that that can't happen anymore. Because again, just because they're upset by something that they see, as long as it doesn't hit any of those criteria, I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be stifled. I think that they should just be told, well, then block them and shut up, you know, grow the hell up. So I'd like to see that happen. I think that if they could just grow up, then we could have a better thing. Because seeing people deplatformed, even if I don't agree with them or don't like them, is hurtful to everybody. So I think that that's where I'm going to end it. I think that is a way to be. All right. I'm sorry, I'm losing it here. Going off the beaten path, losing my train of focus. So, okay, well, thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me. I hope I made some sense. And, all right, I hope my next one isn't a month down the road. Fingers crossed. Alrighty, thanks so much. Bye, guys.